Bringing a new animal into your home can sometimes cause chaos. First of all, tell your animal there's a new companion coming in for him, and then ask him if he'll allow the animal to come in. If the animal has already arrived completely unexpected, like picking a dog up off the street or picking up a cat, and the animals you don't have a lot of time to prepare the animals, then you have to tell them as soon as you get in. And it's always a good idea to leave the other animal outside for a little while and separate them. One, because they often need vaccination if you pick them up and you need to get them to a vet. And the other is that you need to get your animals used to the new animal's scent when it comes in. Because immediately another animal comes into the home, it changes the scent. And they have to get used to the scent. So always be very cautious when you bring a new animal in. Always praise the other animals in the house and tell them how happy you are that they're helping you take care of it. And then praise them for being so nice to the new animal. And even if at times they're not, then just again, use a little bit of psychology and begin to understand that the other animals do resent it a little bit. Now, when it comes to bowls, make sure that you don't give your new companion the bowl that your existing companion is eating from, or even one you may have tucked in the cupboard that you think, oh, I'll use this one. Buy new ones. If you have a mat under each of the dishes, don't put one under one and not under the other. Make sure that they both have mats underneath their dishes. So with a little bit of psychology, with your new companion coming in, you can really make it work for him. And now let's talk about their sleeping quarters. Make sure the new companion has his own bed with his own blanket and not one that the existing companion has had. Even if he's had it 5 years ago, he'll remember, so don't give it to them. New beds, new blankets, just the same as new bowls. Make sure that he's going to have his own bed, his own blanket, his own place in the house, and just watch that when they first come in. Our dog friends are easier to bring together than our cats. So when you bring a new dog into your home, make sure the other animal companions know that the dog is going to arrive. And what I suggest is that before you bring the new companion into the house, if you have 1 or 2 dogs, then take them outside to greet the new companion and immediately take them for a walk together. And take them to the park so that they meet and they're doing something that they all enjoy to do with the new companion, which is a good start, rather than bringing him right into the house and them feeling he's coming in on their territory. It's much easier if you take them for a walk, bring them back and bring them all in the house together. It sort of breaks that tension. So when you bring them in the house together, sometimes dogs adapt so quickly and they're happy this other dog's in the house, and then other dogs take a little while to come round and they feel a little bit insecure and they're not quite sure of the other dog's personality. So again, I would recommend to leave them to sort it out for themselves. Now, if you're bringing a new puppy in, I have always wrapped the puppies in a towel and taken them with me into my bed. It's very hard for a puppy to be taken from its mother and its siblings and the closeness and the warmth of its mother's body to suddenly to be put isolated in a kitchen alone, and the puppy naturally will cry. And I found that if I got up a couple of times in the night, I would put them out on the grass, and also that is when your training begins with them going outside. They get used to the smell of the grass, they get comfortable with going outside. And make sure when you bring a puppy in, give the other dogs some of that puppy food as well and mix it up so the other dogs don't feel that the puppy's having something special and they're not. Now, if you buy a new collar for a dog and a new leash for a dog, sometimes that can also upset the existing dogs in the house. Or you suddenly go out for a walk and use one of those other leads on the new dog, and the other dog thinks, what's he doing with my new lead? And instead of biting you, he'll bite the other dog, and he should really be, so be aware of this, because they do feel this very strongly. So rule number one is don't share the dishes, don't share any of the leashes or collars to start with. If you've only got 2 dogs, then go out and buy new leashes and collars so that they all feel equal. And make sure that if you've got a mat under a dish or a carpet, make sure the other one has it too. So treat them equally alike, and you'll find then that they won't have any arguments over things like that, because they're just like children are, animals, and they're possessive about their things. All animals have different temperaments, the ones that are coming into your homes and the existing ones in your homes. So you just have to use a little bit of common sense to get everything right between all of them. Let's talk for a moment about cats. Now, introducing cats to a household where there's still existing dogs in your home can be a little tricky. And what I find works really well with my 7 dogs is that each time I rescue a cat, I will put him in a crate. The only time I use a crate is at a time like this and for traveling. So I pop the cat into the crate and I put him in another room, and I let my dogs go in and visit him, give him the protection away from the dogs, and he feels safe, the cat does, and the dogs can't get to him, or even worse, the cat can't get to the dogs. But they get used to each other's scent. They're familiar then with how they look, and they start getting used to this new companion that's coming into your home. And I do that with each of my dogs for a little bit longer every day. And when I see the cat feeling more comfortable with the dogs, then I think to myself, it's time to let the cat out. So I let the cat out and take 1 dog in at the time, and then just let them do whatever they want to do together. Often my dogs will just ignore them, or sometimes they're a little curious, and sometimes the cats will react, and that's okay, and the dog will back off. But just go with it and give them time, because all animals are different, just like children are. And you'll find that if you do it this way, it'll be much easier and less stressful. And be patient. Take as long as it takes for them to get familiar with each other. And if you find that one dog is more difficult than another one, or shows more interest than another one, then take him in a number of times during the day and give the cat some protection again by staying inside the crate. And eventually he will get familiar with the cat. I've found that this works with my animals, and I'm sure that it will with yours. When you're introducing a new cat and there is another cat in your home already, it can be very difficult for both cats, so you must be extremely diplomatic. Again, cats will spit, they will scratch, and just leave them for a little while because they'll find their own space. The only time you must intervene is if they get into a very bad fight, and then I suggest that you spray them with water, and spray with iced water straight in the face. It's not going to harm them, but it will help separate them. Just let them sort themselves out and don't intervene. Always buy a new litter box for a new cat coming in. But do leave the existing litter box down for your cat that's already used to his litter box. Don't change it. Keep the litter as it is for your existing cat, and keep the same litter for the new cat that comes in. Put the litter boxes away from each other, and make sure that always you use the same litter, not too highly perfumed, because what smells nice to you does not to the cat. So always remember that. So by doing all these things, it's really going to help the cats come together. Now also, whenever you talk to the cats, when you touch one, make sure you go and pet the other one. Don't pet one without the other. Go from one and then to the other. And make sure that they both have equal attention, because that can anger either of them then. So if you put your hand on one, put it on the other, and make sure that you talk and you look into both of their eyes, because all these things are important to the cat, and this will help bring them in together. If they're not affectionate towards each other, it really doesn't matter, as long as they're quiet and they're enjoying being in your home. That's all that matters. So allow and understand that all cats are different. This is the mystique of cats, and just go along with their personalities. And I know that it's going to work out for you if you do these things.